Hey everybody, in the last video we installed Linux Mint 22 on my desktop PC, and my plan is to make it my daily driver. You know, web browsing, email, video editing, photography, the whole bit in Linux Mint. So the next thing I want to show you are the 10 things that I do starting out, and this is like a beginner. I've been using Linux for a long time, but I've never set up the machine to be my daily driver. So these are the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do them, and hopefully this will help you. If it does, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified, and there's going to be a whole series of videos just on Linux Mint and making it your daily driver and getting rid of Windows 11. So anyway, let's drop down to the desktop and get started. Hey everybody, Scott Burnette here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. Like I said, this is Linux Mint 22, a series. Let's get rid of Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 7, whatever version of Windows you're on. Let's drop down to my desktop, and here is the fresh install of Linux Mint 22 on my desktop, and we have a welcome screen. Well, the first thing I want to do, I want to go in to the first steps. If I grab the right mouse, and it gives us a whole list of icons here that we can go through and click and do whatever we need to do. First thing I want to do, I want to go to the Update Manager. I want to make sure that the system, the operating system, is up to date and ready to go. So, as you can see, I have 114 updates and 924 megabytes. The requirements for Linux Mint, I'll put them down in the description. You always multiply that times 1.5. or 2.0 for the correct size of machine, drive, and all that stuff. Hit OK. I'm going to put in my super secret password. And we will come back when this is done. This should only take 2 or 3 minutes. The updates in Linux are a lot quicker than Microsoft. Let's say it that way. We will have to reboot at the end. Alright, so that took 3 to 4 minutes, and everything looks good. It asked me for a local mirror. I don't really want to do that, so we'll go ahead and reboot. We can do this in the terminal, but Linux Mint is set up to where you don't have to do that. One of my things I do, I'm going to walk through the terminal, change some settings on it. But one of the good things about Linux Mint, you don't have to. You can use everything with the user interface. So, okay, next step. Go back here. It's rebooted. It's all up to date. We'll verify that. We'll go back to the Update Manager. System is up to date. Good to go. All right, next part is Driver Manager. So I have an NVIDIA graphics card, but you could have a capture card, a wireless network card, some kind of RAID card where you have hard drives that talk to it. You go to the Driver Manager, and a driver is the piece of software that allows that piece of hardware to talk to your operating system. Very simple. And every piece of hardware, whether it be a graphics card, a network card, keyboard, whatever, has a driver. So we'll go to the Driver Manager, and it's going to find that I need a new driver for my graphics card here in just a second. So it says I need the 550 NVIDIA driver, which is one of the latest ones out. I want to tell it I want to do that, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit Apply Changes. I always want the password. It's going to download the driver, do the install, and then it'll say that it wants to restart. Haven't had a problem with this so far. The video editing I do requires I have an NVIDIA card. So we will come back when it's done. Alright, it looks like it's done. That took what, 2-3 minutes. It says restart. We'll go ahead and hit restart and be right back. This is another one of those things you can do in the terminal, but it has a applet in the user interface that allows you to do it. So we'll be right back. Alright, so the third step is controversial to some people. It kind of is to me. But if we go to our update manager, for a beginner, it's been recommended that you go to the update manager and then edit and then preferences. And here you can go to automation and you can tell it to keep you updated automatically. Now, a lot of people would rather do the updates themselves. It's like in Microsoft Windows, it wants to update you automatically, without you saying anything. You can do this as a beginner. It might be good. You may have the mindset that you don't want to do that. For this video, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, go ahead and do it. It's one of those things where I worry about a backup or a really big major upgrade breaking something. But we're going to go ahead and tell it to go ahead and do that. And now it should keep me up to date without me doing anything. Okay, number 4. We're going to go down to the software manager. Now this is like your app store on your phone or your Google Play, Mac OS software store, Windows store, the Microsoft store rather, except for this is completely free. So this is a software store that you get all your apps, and I've never had to pay a dime. So once it loads, so your email client, if you want Thunderbird email, which I'm going to create a video on that. We're going to grab it from the package manager. We're going to hit install, hit continue, and that's it. It will install any kind of photo editing, video editing, except for Davinci Resolve. You can't get it here, but you can get Kdenlive, OpenShot, you can get all those. Shotwell, you can get GIMP, which is a kind of a Photoshop replacement. VLC for media playback. I like it. We'll grab it here. There's a lot of different browsers you can get. On the next video, I'll show there's some GitHub repositories that you can go out to GitHub and run scripts to install software that make your life a lot easier. But anyway, you can browse this. If you're a gamer, you can get your Steam library, e-readers, audio, playback, games. Whatever. You can find an application for pretty much anything. There's still times that you have to go back to Microsoft for certain things, have to go back to Mac for certain things, but for the most part, you can find applications in Linux to do what you need. So there's one, Blender, for 3D animation and modeling. It's a really powerful application. Free. So that was number 4 on our list. Number 5, Timeshift Backups. So, like creating a system restore point in Microsoft, Time Machine in Mac OS, you can run an application that comes installed in Linux Mint called Timeshift, and put a password in again. And what this allows you to do, either add an external drive or on your system drive, you can create a restore point of your system files, and if you bork something up, you can go in and run a restore point, and it'll get you back to an earlier date time where your system was running good. So, like, I have an external drive here just for this example. And what we'll do, we'll plug it in. All right, so we got the drive plugged in. And what it'll do, it'll go in and calculate how big the snapshot should be. And we're going to go in and tell it I want the external drive. I'm hitting next, and on this one you can tell it you want a monthly, a weekly, daily, hourly, or boot backup. A lot of people doing a lot of configuration changes. You may want an hourly, daily, whatever you want. I'm going to say I want 2 daily backups. Hitting next. It's going to exclude all my personal files because those are backed up to either the cloud or a NAS or whatever. But the system files are what I'm most interested in, so I'm going to tell it to exclude all files. Now I can tell it to back up everything, but that's not a really good way to do it. And then I'm going to hit finish, and then I can tell it to create a restore point. So you do it right there where my mouse is, and it creates a restore point. And that is setting up Timeshift Backup. It's that easy. And I'm going to make another video on how to actually restore to an earlier time. It's very simple too. But you always have to make sure, it's a good practice to go in and do maintenance where you make sure you have a backup or you have a restore point or snapshot. So if something does screw up, you can go back. So, all right, customizing the desktop. So here, we're going to launch the desktop colors. And I like using the dark theme. And I like using blue for my folders. Now we're going to go down to the advanced settings. And as you can see my mouse pointer, I hate this mouse pointer. I don't know why they use this. It's a modern classic. Don't like it. I want to go back to the old tried and true. But you can go in and you can change your icons, your folders, terminal, theme. They just have a ton of them. Like if I want to go down to what, gray, let's go gray. I can change it to gray. I'm still in dark, but it's changed my preference on the color. So you can go in and you can change the panel, you can change the location of it, the size, you can move your icons, you can change icons, you can customize Linux to the nth degree. It's very cool. That's what I like about it. You can customize it a whole lot more than you can Windows and Mac. So that was number 6. Number 7. Now, there's been a couple of comments on my last video enabling the firewall. And that's what we need to do now. This is very simple. You can go into the terminal and do this with some commands, but they have it set up in Linux Mint where you click right here, put your password in again, and you can get started with your firewall. I'll make that bigger so we can see it. So they tell you the basic firewall, how to do it, the steps to do it in, and what it does. So the basic steps, we want to deny any incoming threat, but anything outgoing we're going to allow. You can add any weird rule, like if you have an application or a sensor, cameras, or anything like that, we can tell it to open a port. We can close a port off if we want to. But we will go in and turn it on to a home profile. Now, if we go to a work profile, or an office profile rather, it's gonna really squeeze it and not allow anything hardly. Our work machines are that way. They're really tied down. This will get us started. Hopefully keep us safe. So that's enabling the firewall. As far as the terminal goes, that'd be number 8. So if you click on the terminal, I want to go up here to Edit, Preferences, and I like making that terminal a little bit bigger. I like making that to 100. You can change the font. I'll go custom font, and I want to make it 14. The font's actually okay. You can go in and change the colors if you want the text to be a different color than the background. If you want the background to be, red, you can do that. But you can go in and there are terminal commands like list. You can list the contents of a directory. As you see, that's my home directory. You can super user do. That's another terminal command that you use to allow you to do an elevated privileged task. If I want to go to apt, that's package manager and update. It always asks for the password. And we can check and see if we're up to date. If we want to do an upgrade, we just do sudo app upgrade. If we want to change directory to documents, so we can do doc and hit tab. There's documents. We can do that. We can do a list. Nothing there. We can do a super user do. We can make a directory. And we can call it test. If we list now, there's my test folder. There are all kind of terminal commands you can use, and it's pretty neat. I mean, back in the old days, what I say old days, that's all we had was terminal, and we had to make everything work that way. And a lot of people will use PuTTY or SSH or another tool, PowerShell, to terminal command their Linux machine and never go to a user interface. We do that at work. So cool stuff in the terminal, and I'll put some links to some videos people have done that are really in there to show you what the terminal can do. It's a powerful tool. Okay, number 9. I suggest going to the forums and going to a lot of the websites on YouTube that really explain how to use Linux. If you have any questions, you can always ask the YouTuber and they try to help. A lot of these forums, these folks really dig into it. I mean, they'll explain stuff. Most everybody will explain and bring you into the community. You register, log in, and very simple. Ask your questions clearly, give all the information, and I've never had a problem in the forums. There's a lot of YouTubers switch to Linux, Learn Linux TV, Explaining Computers. Christopher Burnette, he is a Linux guy. I mean, he really knows how to work it. A lot of interesting subjects and a lot of interesting information. But I suggest learning and making yourself proficient, I guess is the best way to say that. So yeah, that's number 9. Okay, the last one for today would be optimizing the power settings. So if we go to the Start menu and we go to Preferences and down to Power Management. Okay, so from default, it has turn off the screen after 30 minutes. I generally put never, and when I get done, I just shut the computer down or tell it to go to sleep. You can suspend, you can tell it to go to sleep. Hitting the power button, you can tell it to shut down immediately, suspend, lock, whatever I want it to ask. Under batteries, my mouse has a battery, and if I had a battery powered keyboard, it would tell me low battery alert. For laptops, there are a lot more settings for being able to optimize your power management, your battery life, and everything. Hopefully I can get a different laptop and install on there and make videos on that. So there you have it. The 10 things that I do right out the gate. I've enjoyed using Linux. I've tried every distribution known to man, I think. I mean, I have on my NAS, I have 25 or 30 different distributions. I need to go and delete them. But we're going to try to make this one the daily driver. And hopefully I'm helping you. I really appreciate all the comments that I've gotten in the last couple of days about security and the different things and some of the games that they couldn't play on Linux, so they stayed on Windows. Tried to reply back to every one of those. But anyway, if I've helped you, don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that bell. And that's it. Today is Christmas Day 2024. Hope y'all are having a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a Happy New Year coming up. But anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I always say, until the next video, thanks for watching.